Students, today we can solve one more problem with regard to the bailment. So under bailment, today let us solve a problem with regard to the duties of a bailee. That means bailee has got the rights as well as the corresponding duty. Likewise, bailer also has got the rights as well as the corresponding duty. Here, what is meant by bailment, So here, today we can just concentrate with regard to the what are all the duties of a bailee. As you know that a bailee has got a duty to take reasonable care of goods which has been bailed. So those things we have seen under section 151 to 152. And a bailee has got a duty to not to make unauthorized use of the goods bailed. That means he is not supposed to make unauthorized use of the goods. So which has been discussed under section 153 and 154. And bailee has got a duty not to mix bailer's goods with his own goods. That is under section 155 to 157. So the other duty, likewise, the duty has got the bailee has got the 5 kinds of duties. The fourth kind of duty is that duty to return the goods on fulfillment of the purpose. Very important duty of the bailee. When the purpose has been completed, when the purpose has been accomplished, when the directions with regard to the bailment of goods has been fulfilled, then the bailee has got a duty to return the goods. So, or he has to act according to the directions of the bailer. And next duty is of a bailee is duty to deliver to the bailer in case of increase or profit on the goods bailed. That is that can be called as a principle of accretion. So which can be seen under section 163. So these are all the aspects concerning to the duties of bailee. So with regard to this one, if the question comes in the exam with regard to duties of bailee, how we have to write? So with regard to that one, let us see in this video. Here, as I used to tell you that you have to write the facts, issue, rule, analysis, conclusion. These are all the methods we have to follow so that every legal content can be covered. Otherwise, what will happen? If we write the essay type of questions, then there is a possibility of losing the legal contents which has been expected from the evaluator. Here the question is, A delivered 100 barrels of mustard oil to a railway at Calcutta to deliver it at Delhi to B. That means it has been given, it has been taken from the previous question paper of kslu as it is. So here in this way the questions will be there. And when the train reaches to Delhi, the said oil was destroyed by a lawful authority for the reason that it was adulterated. The railway authority failed to deliver it to B. Is the railway authority liable to give the compensation for non-delivery of the bailed goods, that is oil, to P? So this is the question has been given in the kslu previous year question paper. So what we have to do? We have to simplify these facts. Here it is not always necessary. We can follow this IRAC method also. We can straight away we can write the issue, we can write the rule, we can write the analysis, then we can write the conclusion. But if we simplify it, then it is convenient for us to answer and make good the problem clear. So we can simplify the problem in this way. In the instant case, A from Calcutta has booked 100 barrels of mustard oil through railway to get delivered it to B, who is residing at Delhi. That means it is a case of bailment. Here, A is a bailer who is from Calcutta. He has booked 100 barrels of mustard oil to get transported through railway, that is a Bailee, and it should be delivered it to B, who is residing at Delhi. So this is the first simplified fact. Second one is, when it reaches Delhi, lawful authorities destroyed mustard oil, giving reason it is adulterated. So when it reaches the goods oil which has reached through railway to Delhi, lawful authorities has confiscated and destroyed the mustard oil which has been bailed on the reason that it is a adulterated one. Here this is the facts of the case. As per the duties of a Bailee, the Bailee has got a duty to return the goods on fulfillment of the purpose. Under section 161 it has been given. So here the question arose for us for consideration in the way that we have to write the issue. The question arose for consideration is that whether Bailee could be held liable for the loss of goods even taking the due care. Even taking the due care. So that is the question. So here whether Bailee could be held liable, that is Bailee is the railway authority. That means what is the duty of the Bailee? To transport the goods and deliver it to B. But before delivering it to B only, lawful authorities they confiscated and destroyed the goods which has been bailed. So here the Bailee has got the duty to hand over the goods, deliver the goods to B, but it has been destroyed. So for the loss of the goods, whether Bailee, that is railway authorities, could be held liable for the loss of goods, even taking due care. So that is the aspect we have to see. So even taking due care. So this is the issue. This is the question. So here the provision of law, that is applicable provision of law is that section 161 of the Contract Act, and also the decided case law is that is JK Oil Mills versus Union of India. So this is the decided case law with regard to this aspect. So here we have to see the problem while applying the section 161 as well as also the JK Oil Mills versus Union of India. And here there are certain other case laws will also come into being. But here we have to not only we have to take the provision of law and settled principles of law, we have to see some decided case laws in this regard. And I used to tell you that in exams with regard to this sort of the illustration problems, they used to give the problems with some decided case law only, so that it will be convenient for the students to solve the problem which will be given in the exams. So next the step is the analysis section. So what we have to do, we have to analyze the facts, issue and the provision of law under analysis section. So what has to be analyzed? Here we have to analyze the section 161 as well as the case law for JK Oil Mill versus Union of India. Here according to section 161, if by the default of the Bailee the goods are not returned or delivered or tendered at the proper time, he is responsible to the bailer for loss or destruction or deterioration of the goods from that time. So that has been given under section 161. That means if a Bailee is not in a position to deliver back the goods, for instance, when they are lost due to the fault of his servants, the responsibility for such loss is that of the Bailee. That means even the servants of the Bailee were responsible for the loss of the goods. The Bailee could be vicariously liable. So we have solved this problem already. So, and this issue already. And here a Bailee is liable for the loss due to non-return or non-delivery of the goods. If that is due to his fault, a Bailee is excused from returning the subject matter of the bailment to the bailer or his agent, where the subject matter was taken from him by the authority of law, exercised through regular and valid proceedings. So let us see with regard to the case law with regard to the instant problem. In JK Oil Mill versus Union of India, the appellants gave a consignment of mustard oil to the respondents, that is railway company, for being transported from Kanpur to Calcutta. After the tank wagon containing the oil had safely reached Calcutta, it was suspected to be adulterated and was therefore seized by the food inspector under lawful orders of the competent authority under the Calcutta Municipal Act. On examination, the oil was found adulterated and the same was destroyed under the orders of the Calcutta High Court. It was held that the loss, damage or destruction of the goods was not due to the misconduct of the railway administration or its servants, and the respondents were not liable for the failure to deliver the goods back to the appellants. So this is the facts of the case with regard to the JK Oil Mill versus Union of India, where we can find the same similar problem which has been given in our question paper, where the goods were handed over to railway company from which has to be transported from Kanpur to Calcutta. That is the same thing, mustard oil. So it was suspected by the municipal authorities, food inspector and inspector, and on examination it was found adulterated, and they have destroyed the mustard oil, adulterated mustard oil, on the directions of the Calcutta High Court. So it was held that the Bailee, that is a railway company, would not be held liable. So even though the Bailee has got the duty cast upon him under section 161, that he is responsible for the loss of the goods only in case of his default. But if it is not his default, for example, you know that the use of intoxication is prohibited under Gujarat. Suppose somebody supplies the goods, that is through railway, and the goods has been considered as contraband. It has been banned in the Gujarat of use of intoxication liquors. So at that time, the railway company could not be held liable because which has been prohibited under the law. So likewise, even though there is a duty cast upon the Bailee to deliver the goods, here because of the provisions of law, and here when the goods were found to be adulterated, then the railway company, even though it acts under the shoes of the Bailee, it is not held responsible. So if by the default of the Bailee the goods are not returned or delivered or tendered at the proper time, in case there is no negligence on the part of the Bailee or the goods are lost due to bailor's own default, the Bailee cannot be made liable for the same. In Bosak and Company versus Mandelston, the plaintiff was a jeweler at Lahore and the defendant was a former jeweler at Calcutta. So this is also one of the famous case law with regard to this aspect. So here this we can see, that means here what we have to see in the light of the above cases, we have to see that here we have to see whether the duty of the Bailee, we have to see here under this Bosco Company under Mandelston, it was that according to a course of dealing between these parties, the plaintiff sent an uninsured parcel of a certain jewelry to the defendant, and the defendant, after making necessary repairs, sent the same to the bank uninsured by VPP, the value payable being the cost of repair of the jewelry. When the parcel sent by the defendant arrived at Lahore and was tendered to the plaintiff. He told the post office to keep it for him till he should send it for it. The parcel was then lost. So here also we can see that the duties of the Bailee. So it was also the decided that defendant could not be, that is Bailee could not be held liable for the negligence of the bailer, but he has asked the Bailee to keep the goods in their custody, but it was not required. So the Bailees were not were held liable for the negligence of the bailer. So in the light of the above discussion, what we have to see, the railway authorities who are acting as Bailee are not responsible for the destruction of the bailed goods in their custody. So we have to write the conclusion or decision, or we can write the reasons here also. So what should be our conclusion? That in the light of the case law of the JK Oil Mills versus Union of India, in the instant problem, what we have to write, the Bailees, they are not responsible for the destruction of the goods by the lawful authorities. They need not have to pay any loss to the bailer. So this is the aspect with regard to the duties of a Bailee. So in the next class we can see some more problems with regard to the special contract subject.